Hello, guys. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. I don't even know what to say. Okay, so I am recording our card pull for the week ahead. I am 4 cards out of 5 in, and every single card from last week has just come up. But also it's Mercury retrograde and a total solar eclipse. So I'm going to share with you now the video of me pulling the first 3 cards. And then all of a sudden, as I pulled the 4th card, I got a yikes. We ran into a problem. I flipped the card over and looked down and saw the message. It was a 4th card from last week. And so I took a screenshot. So I'm going to come back in here live now to pull our Friday card. It could be the Hangman. It might not be. But this has never, ever happened before. Never. Never happened where I pulled 4 cards in a row that were the same cards as last week. Hello, happy moon day. We are here for the total solar eclipse in Aries. It's Monday and we're tuning in for our collective week ahead card pulls. A little postponed. If you are catching this on my Empowerment Sharecast, you heard my vulnerable updates last night about all of the activity that's been going on here in my world, compliments of Mercury retrograde, of the solar eclipse, of the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, just all the things being shook up. And woke up this morning, the sun is shining, and we are poised to view this eclipse happening later today at about 90% of totality where I am located, and perhaps where you are in the world, you may be in the line of visibility to some degree or another or not. And either way, we are all experiencing this incredibly powerful and potent portal for change and transformation. And so I really got into this yesterday when I recorded the Empowerment Pack reading for the solar eclipse. I've been sharing that special is available to all who would like to come along. You can check the posts in here in the polo or in the caption below if you're watching this on one of my social media spaces. I am Marissa of Grow in the Flow, and we are here to tap into the tarot and oracle cards that we bring in as tools for our own guidance, insight, and awareness as we move through the week ahead here, empowered. So, again, I'll put the link there, or just message me if you want to get in. I have a special going on for the 2 lunations this month. So today and the full moon in Scorpio later this month, it's just $22 each, and you receive the full part 1 reading is already ready, and some really amazing things came through there. I have a lot of guidance for working through these eclipse energies, which you can continue to connect with now through the 22nd of this month, through this gateway that we are in with this eclipse. So with all that being said, I want to share with you the Queen of the Moon energies that are here. First, I'm going to bring in the Midnight Indigo Light in the Dark energy spray. These are the beautiful Archangel Metatron healing energy sprays from Angelic Celestial Colors that I work with as a part of my Metatron color healing practice. We bring in this energy of light in the dark and sunrise, new dawn. And so bringing in this energy for us collectively, we are anchoring in and connecting with the eclipse energies from the highest vibrational perspective available. So here I have the 2 cards that have come forward on the card pulls I've done thus far for this lunation. So if you caught the Stars and Cards episode with me and Moonlight Soul, we pulled a card to tap into the energies and received this card, the Masculine, card 42 of the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and we got into it. We did a full spread and a lot of amazing messages came forward, and that is now playing over on my YouTube channel. But I tapped in for our Empowerment Pack reading yesterday, and we received the divine feminine energy of the Queen of the Moon for sovereignty, number 41. So really feeling just how aligned these energies really are in bringing through the power of the moon with the Queen of the Moon, bringing in the shadow, and the power of the masculine energy, bringing in the light and the yang energy. So we really have these two coming together, which is pretty amazing. And like I said, we get into it for both of these cards in those two separate readings. Like I said, Stars and Cards now playing over on YouTube, and the Empowerment Pack reading is available for all who would like to take advantage. After you view that 1 hour, 8 minute, and 8 second video, can't make it up, you get your personal card pulls where we will dive in even deeper using an absolutely stunning deck, the Moonchild Tarot. And I will also be pulling you your personal card from the Oracle of Awakening. So with all that being said, let's dive in now to our current week energy. So we're going to pull our 5-card spread that we usually do here on Sundays. I'm going to get into that now, and we're using our featured deck this month, the Spring Weight Tarot from Tarot Collectibles. And so this is our beautiful sparkly stars edition, where we are going to tap in here for some guidance for us collectively. And we use this 5-card spread to set our intentions. However, time is not linear. So these energies that are coming up Monday through Friday, of course, are working together throughout the week. These are collective messages. So as always, you're welcome to take what resonates and leave the rest. There's always someone there to pick it up. And it's so cool to see throughout the week how these cards speak to you. Last week was quite interesting with the energies we had come forward. And for me personally, how the week was punctuated with an earthquake and yesterday an automobile accident for my oldest daughter. So everybody is okay. And I am actually incredibly grateful and really in this reflective space of really seeing all that's coming forward here. But suffice it to say, I get it. I get it. And I'm experiencing it myself in real time. So Monday is the card that kicks off the week. And this is the card here on Eclipse Day. So we're going to see what comes forward here. As always, after we do this card pull, we're going to get into it, where over on my Sharecast, I'll be recording each of the messages for the 5 cards, as well as touching on the astrological weather this week and these oracle messages that have come forward. I'll dip into those a bit too. So let's see what we have coming up here for Monday, here and now. Four of Swords. This was our potential block or challenge last week. So isn't that interesting that now we are seeing this sort of setting the tone for this week? This was that card of meditation, contemplation, and time out, of setting down those swords and being in nature. So I'm definitely continuing to feel this guidance of getting grounded, of coming into your body and getting grounded. And this is incredibly important today through these eclipse energies as well. We have a little bit of a revolving door here today. All the kiddos are coming home early for the eclipse from school, so they'll be arriving in waves here, and Cooper, my dog, will certainly be announcing their arrival. So household noises are abounding here today. Tuesday is going to represent our potential block or challenge. Speak of those little kiddos. Hey guys, if you were tuned in last week, this was our Friday card. So isn't this interesting that a continuum of the messages of last week are still coming forward for us collectively? Once again, I remind you, there's 78 cards in the tarot. And as a matter of fact, this deck has 2 Fools and 2 Hermits. So there is more than 78 cards here in my hand right now. And so far, the first 2 are cards that already came forward yesterday, or last week rather. So let's see what we have coming in for Wednesday for our midweek blessing. Oh my gosh, you guys, this was the card. This was Wednesday's card. Wow. I don't think this has ever happened in the history of my pulling cards for the week ahead, that the first 3 cards are all the same from the previous week. Wow. This card in this exact space, last Sunday, we tuned in and collectively we brought through these 3 cards. Wow. Okay. So what else came forward last week? We started with the 9 of Pentacles. Then we had the 4 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the 6 of Cups. So let's see what is finishing out our week with Thursday being the card was the Hanged Man, which has been a very potent card that has continued to be a totem for a lot of this energy that we're all being invited into right now, to stop and pause where we are and view from different perspectives and glean awarenesses through the hang-ups, the hold-ups, right? So that was Thursday's card last week. How are we growing? How are we growing? I have goosebumps. So I don't know. This is just feeling really, really aligned with. So here we go. I'm not exactly sure where that card pull cut off, but this is the screenshot. When I looked down and saw that it had stopped, I was holding the 4th consistent card from last week. So I am blown away. We are going to tune in now together live. I'm going to be pulling the 5th card. See what comes up. Could be the Hanged Man, maybe not. It is 10:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go ahead and press record. All right, guys. We're going to do this again. I am blown away. I have never had this happen before. As we see, 4 of our cards from last week have come forward, and we just have 1 more to choose. Obviously, we were having a little Marco Polo snafu as well. So again, Mercury up to his tricks. I am going to spray the White Light Merkaba spray here. These are all sprays that I brought in for the Eclipse Empowerment Pack video that I used and infused into all of those messages. I want to bring that in here now for some clarity. And again, we see here between the midnight indigo and the sunrise new dawn, we're in this white space where we are going to tap in for this 5th card to wrap up the messages for this week. But holy wow. I don't even know what to say. I can't wait for everybody to see this because I know I'm on at a weird time. Everybody's busy. What is going on here? What is our 5th card to go with these messages this week? Wow. Oh, there it is again. Okay. Okay. Whew. So this is also a perfect card to come forward today. The Wheel of Fortune. The wheel turns. This is a card of destiny, karmic, fated events, and movement into. And this is really profound. So the other card that had come up last week was the Hanged Man. And that has really been a central point of so many of the messages that have been coming forward from all different people I tune into, people I've talked to, whether it's colleagues, clients, just in general, getting so much with that Hanged Man energy. And now we have the Wheel of Fortune coming in, which also came forward in the eclipse reading. So I am really feeling all the alignments here. Let's pull 1 more card. We're going to use the Oracle of Awakening. I'm really enjoying this. This is the deck that I pulled from last night here on the Sharecast when the Vulnerability card came up with some really beautiful messages. Also, really, the card that came forward from this deck in Stars and Cards with Mila and I came forward was Creation, which was an absolute summary of all the messages we had brought throughout that hour. So let's just continue here with these energies and see what's coming forward in the Oracle of Awakening here on Eclipse Day. Wow. I'm really blown away at these same cards coming back up again and culminating into the Wheel of Fortune. This is so powerful. And this is amazing. Everyone who's viewing this, and whenever you view it, our collective energy is bringing this together to bring forward these messages for all. And this comes forward on a collective, global scale, as well as into your microcosms and into your lives in the way that these energies can be coming forward, how you can connect with them and work with them, and really look to embrace and surrender, allow, and flow through the energies that we are moving through. There we go. limitless, access to infinite potential. What a gorgeous, gorgeous card. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to pop in here now for our astrological weather report, and then we're going to launch into these powerful messages. Okay, let's tune in here for the energetic weather this week, which there is much. Okay, starting right here with the star of the week, the Aries solar eclipse. So today happening, the Aries total eclipse, which is one of the most powerful cosmic events of the year. This total eclipse will be visible across North America and Central America and is expected to be one of the longest eclipses of our lifetime. Now, it's said that the countries that can see the total eclipse are going to be countries that are up for change and transformation. So note to self on that. And yet we all are experiencing these energies, whether you can see this eclipse or not. Now, yes, eclipses do stir transformative energy for everyone. Solar eclipses are considered to be door openers. So the solar eclipse that we're moving through today can open new pathways for us to see things in a whole new light. We might experience a deep aha moment or some moment of clarity, flashes of insights. We may also decide to take steps in new directions. I've been talking about this, what if you leap, right? The record skipping and moving us, catapulting us even onto these new timelines, higher aligned timelines. So, solar eclipses do tend to reveal to us what it is we really want. So that means old dreams, old storylines and trajectories that we've been on, we may become acutely aware that actually we are no longer feeling aligned with that dream or that timeline. And it is okay for us to release it with love, with gratitude for the journey that it has been to this point and all that we have learned and gathered through it. And move ourselves into these more aligned pathways. So, in some cases, we are in touch with what we want, and we know very well what we're here to manifest and what seeds we're planting. Other times, we may want what we want could really suddenly take us by surprise. I didn't realize that. So these aha moments and clarity that could be coming through. And so this eclipse is quite the powerful portal for manifestation work. This is a great time to set intentions for the future. Now, again, I get into this in detail in the empowerment pack reading that is available now if you want to snag that special. But I want to just highlight and make sure everybody gets to hear. There are so many different schools of thought and perspectives that are available to you out there, like a radio dial. What are you tuning into? As for me, I choose to tune into the highest vibrational alignment available, which means using this natural occurrence in the universe, this total solar eclipse, as the powerful portal for change that it is. And so that means this is a tremendous day to be thinking about what you wish to manifest in your life, for planting seeds. And in fact, I did share here over the weekend the magic eggs ritual that you can do, or other symbolic practices to really align yourself and connect with these powerful energies today. Now, amplifying this energy today, we also have Sun-Chiron conjunction happening in Aries. So taking place here at the same time, this annual conjunction between Chiron and the sun makes this a power day when it comes to our healing journey. Chiron represents the wounds that we hold, right? It's the asteroid known as the wounded healer. These are wounds that have come from our life experiences, but these can also be things that we've inherited through our upbringing, our ancestry, and even past lives. So as the sun aligns with Chiron under this eclipse, we may feel a healing breakthrough. If we've been on a healing journey, we could receive some really powerful insights, or perhaps even deeper awarenesses or understandings of just how our traumas have been operating and creating for us this optimal portal of power, of taking our wound and making it our greatest gift and shining through. So while the sun and Chiron do meet every year, the fact that this conjunction is happening at the same time and degree of this eclipse makes it very special and something you definitely want to pay attention to. Okay, so this is big weather. Now also this week, and this is energy that has been building, April 9th through 11th, Mars-Saturn conjunction in Pisces. So Mars and Saturn coming together in the sign of Pisces, and the energy does peak on these days, the 9th through 11th, but as I said, we can feel this building at least a week before. So we can find that this combo of Mars, Saturn, and Pisces, this can be a particularly volatile combination. Because it's taking place right after an eclipse, we very well may feel it more intensely than usual. So when Mars and Saturn come together, we can encounter a bit of a combative energy because Mars adds fire, Saturn adds force. So that brings some of those potential volatile situations to the surface. Mars and Saturn coming together can also trigger our boundaries and where we may need to be firmer or perhaps let go. So just having an awareness that those things are also coming forward here this week and at play. Then on April 12th, we have Sun-Mercury conjunction, which is also known as a Mercury cazimi. So Mercury in retrograde conjuncting the Sun is one of the most powerful days in the retrograde cycle that we're moving through this month. So it is at this point that we can activate a new way of thinking and seeing things. So if we have been feeling foggy or confused about something, this is where we can start to get some clarity. And also, being that we're in this retrograde cycle, things from the past that have come back around can now feel more manageable or solvable. This is huge, guys. I mean, that Six of Cups is staring at me from across the room right now, from the altar. Back again from last week, I talked about the inner child. I talked about these things coming back from the past, the nostalgia, the going back over things. But how beautiful is this breakthrough that feels like this portal takes us to a place perhaps of real enlightenment and awareness of seeing these wounds through a whole new lens and one that feels much more manageable or solvable. You know, this is real healing and transformation, transmutation that's on offer this week. So, you know, again, I put all this out here. I'm obviously very worked up right now because I am still blown away by the magic that's taking place here. And it's just so beautiful. Thank you for being here. We're going to keep rolling with it. But remember, if you want to know anything more about these aspects or you have questions, please reach out. I'm happy to help divulge more if, you know, sometimes we kind of move through these things and I hope they make sense. But if you have any questions, always let me know. All right, let's touch on this Queen of the Moon and the energies that are coming forward, and we will roll into our week ahead messages. Okay, so in the crazy card poll, I mentioned that these are the two cards that have come forward in the two solar eclipse card poll sessions that I have been a part of. So first, on the right, we see the masculine, which is the energy that came forward during Stars and Cards with myself and Moonlight Soul when we were tapping into the overarching energy that was coming in here with this solar eclipse. And it was really powerful. We already, you know, got into this card and really got into it. So if you want to see that, feel free to tune in. I'm not going to share the full message. I was going to say the full Monty with this masculine energy that we see depicted here in the card as the lunar god. But it is the card that says, may the positive attributes of the masculine align with me. And I know, like, you know, this is all just, who knows when you're going to see this and hear these messages, but can we just take a moment to acknowledge just how magical it is that literally the moon and the sun are aligning here today with the earth. And the two cards that have come forward are the moon and the masculine energy of the sun here. And so it's super, super powerful that it's highlighting for us this energy of what is happening in the sky that is demonstrating for us a reflection of the collective and the energies that are coming into alignment and rebalancing as the divine masculine and feminine. So with that, I tuned in for the Empowerment Pack reading yesterday and got the immediately preceding card to the lunar god, the Queen of the Moon herself. This is the cover girl from this deck, with this key word of sovereignty. I reign over my own realm. You can see that she's holding that moon at her solar plexus, at her core, at her source of I am energy. And so it's very powerful. Again, got into this deep in the reading that's available, but just want to highlight that as what usually happens for me when I'm tapping into these energies is I then encounter spiritual breadcrumbs everywhere I turn. And sure enough, when I opened up my news feed this morning, I saw a little graphic I'm about to pull up here and a little message that I feel is super aligned with this key word coming in to guide us with the Queen of the Moon. So Lee Harris is one of my absolute favorite spiritual teachers and energy workers that is out there. His work is just next level. And this here is a beautiful post that was made that just crossed my path this morning on the back of me pulling the sovereignty card. A word that we may or may not see all that often, and yet here we are with it coming up in front of me on my breadcrumb trail. You are a sovereign being on the earth. And the message that he has here, that is an excerpt from his Connect to Your Soul meditation, you are a sovereign being on the earth, and your path, your work, your reason for being here is to both experience sovereignty and bring sovereignty. Sovereignty being your most empowered, unhindered, emergent self as a human being, where you use who you are as a human to express who you are as a soul. A human who is not in their sovereignty has forgotten the power of their soul. So rise and connect to your soul. How beautiful is that? That when we talk about this month of the Fool's Journey, everybody plays the Fool, right? We've been talking about that since April 1st. On the Fool's Journey, we are here playing that role. As said here, the human, playing the role of the human who's not in their sovereignty is one who has forgotten the power of their soul. So being here to reclaim our sovereignty, to stand in our power, unhindered, is the crux of the Fool's Journey, to step into the power of our soul. So this is a big, big message rippling out as we see depicted here to set the tone now for this massive week. Okay, we start here and now with the Oracle of Awakening message here for eclipse. And we have this amazing card, Limitless, access to infinite potential. The mantra with this card says, there is no beginning to me, nor an ending. I am existence itself. So this is the message coming through for us collectively here in this eclipse energy today. You are a reservoir of pure, undiluted potential. It is your true essence. It is where you were formed, and it is what you are made from. The entire universe exists within every cell of your body. Though you may not be in constant realization of this understanding, it is an ever-present truth. 99% of our thoughts, actions, and reactions are programmed into us by our past and the expectations of society and those around you. Let this card serve as a reminder of your expanded self. Ask yourself, how can I look at things from a new angle, a completely different point of view, and see the big picture? How can I experience my ever unfolding and expansive self? Dream bigger, love harder, have adventures, make beautiful love, create exquisite things. What inspires you? Are you embracing your joy and following your bliss, or being led by your fear? We project our present and future from our experience of the past. What if you tap into your limitless self and let that be the guide into the unknown? And the affirmation says, I am the center of all thought, power, and influence. Wow, what a big message. This is so on point with what we've been talking about, the choice that we each have to make with our own, coming from our place of sovereignty and discernment. Again, are we going to hold that big picture view, or are we seeing things that are led by fear? And this is where we find ourselves in this alignment now, is to make that conscious choice. And so this is really, I love the hair. Her hair is giving me life because it is so representative of your ever expanding power as a soul. And so, you know, this is so aligned. And as I was reading that, I was actually thinking about something so profound that Mila said in Stars and Cards that I shared. It's actually in the clip that I shared when the thunder rolled, which was really crazy here. And of course, I had no idea. Who knew on Wednesday when we had that unseasonable thunderstorm that we were going to have a 4.8 magnitude earthquake just 2 days later. So that was the moment that she said something really profound that I think is absolutely what this card is capturing as well. So I'm going to share that little thumbnail of her quote to put my thoughts and stamp on this message as we now roll into the tarot cards just after this. So this is a little graphic I made last week to share some of the profound wisdom that came forward in Stars and Cards. And this is something that Mila brought through. And in the energy of the limitless message here, she said, there is a lot of insecurity and fear because we don't know where this is going, where this is heading, where this is taking us. And this is why so much shadow is coming to the surface, because now is the opportunity to look at it and to heal it, to be able to face our fears. Why are we afraid? We understand we are afraid, but why are we afraid? What are we thinking is going to happen? We are not afraid of the unknown. We are afraid of what already happened because we cannot be afraid of what we don't know. We are afraid of the projection of the past into the future. So Mila said those words last Wednesday. Today we pull the Limitless card, where it talks about how we project our present and future from our experiences of the past. What if you tap into your limitless self and let that be a guide into the unknown? I mean, you guys, we just can't make it up. It's so beautiful. And I want to tap in and mine all the gold from these goodies that are coming forward. That's my intention for myself, to want to utilize these things to learn from those experiences of the past. And so, we'll get into that when we talk about this recurring Six of Cups. But wow, how powerful is that? I hope you're feeling it. Let's get into these tarot cards. All right, we are here. It's Moon Day. The moon is having its walk across the sun stage here in just a few hours for the total solar eclipse. And we have the first of 4 recurring cards that all came forward last week. Starting with this one, the 4 of Swords. So here we have the card that was in the Tuesday position last week as our potential block or challenge, where we talked about resting and unplugging and getting grounded and putting down maybe some of those racing thoughts or ideas, or, the swords that bring in that air element that have us in the head, and having this opportunity to drop into the heart. So now we see having been a potential block or challenge last week. And one of the things I sort of pulled together by the end of the week through the lens of experience was the fact that these two cards were right next to each other last week as well, the Nine of Swords back there. I had not accounted for, yes, the busy monkey mind and the hamster wheel of thinking and all that, but just the sleep disruption that this pre-eclipse energy was bringing. So many of us having sleeplessness, waking at 4 o'clock in the morning, not being able to get back to sleep, having snafus with our alarms or things that were disrupting our peace. Let's put it that way. And it doesn't even have to be in your sleeping hours. Other things, noises, and things coming into your environment that may have been distracting. Let's say that. So here we are. That was a potential blocker challenge last week, what we've been moving through up to this eclipse. I see this really beautiful potential here, and I'm just going to zoom in so you can see the butterfly that is hovering there above. So being that this is such a beautiful opportunity here today for us to harness the transformative powers that are coming in, and in this metamorphosis, in this energy of great transformation and change, the symbol of the butterfly. Now, when we tap into the Spring Weight Tarot, as I mentioned last week, the Four of Swords got very specific about the scenario that may have been playing out here with this person. The idea that they're resting here on this bench in the evening and took the storyline that said that he had been kicked out of the house after an argument. But actually, perhaps not as brutal as all of that, says the Spring Weight interpretation. Perhaps it depends on the argument and what it's about. So this scene showing a warm evening and that one last butterfly that can be seen floating over him. He has laid his sword down on the ground for now, indicating that he has laid down his arms, most likely from that argument earlier. After an emotional battle, it is good for both parties, in fact, if one or the other leaves for a few hours, take a breather, take a space. It allows the tension to dissipate. And it's good after any fiery disagreements to reflect and contemplate on how one could have handled things better. So again, very specific message about our interactions with others. And it's funny because, yes, they've been messing with me today. I had some stuff going on this morning with the teens and things happening where everybody, I think our energies are amped. And of course, we've been talking about all the different astrological weather that's contributing to this. And just, we've also had a lot of fluctuations with cycles and hormones. Okay. So there's been a lot of things at play going on. So depending on your specific circumstances, yes, this could be speaking to certain communications. And again, we're looking into this week ahead. So now that this card has moved from the position of a potential blocker challenge to sort of setting the tone for this week, I think this is a great reset. This is a great opportunity to reset. So whether we're talking about communication issues and struggles or racing thoughts or conflicts of the mind. So this is all potentially just going on within oneself, an opportunity for us to embrace this transformative change that's coming in and do so through very little action. You don't have to do a whole heck of a lot. Just open up and receive as this is showing. So, we'll take it from there as far as this card reappearing. And also I will say too, the energy of 4, because 4 is that energy of structure and stability and like the legs of a chair or the legs of a table, bringing in that balance. And so we are in a period of restructuring, rebalancing here. And so as we go, and you notice there's 3 here and 1 down here, perhaps getting those things into better alignment and greater stability by bringing them all together. So this could be a 4th leg of the table, of the foundation, of the framework that comes clear to you through your reflection and meditation in this week's energy. So definitely feeling that as well as something that people very well may be experiencing as we expand into this week. Now let's take a look at Tuesday. Okay, I want to just really hone in on this one because the Six of Cups really feels like such an anchor to the energies that are coming through here. Like I said, this was Friday's card last week and has been a consistent energy that represents the past. It represents memories, reflection of nostalgia that may be of fond times, simpler times, but also, shining a light on our wounds and our past, which to me, this card is absolutely connecting us in as a potential block or challenge this week with the energies we're experiencing here and now as the Sun Chiron conjunction in Aries is set to align at the same time as today's eclipse. I have always felt, and I've done a couple of different videos on Chiron retrograde. I have a special spread that I do readings for Chiron and retrograde. I just have a connection, a soft spot for the energies of Chiron and the notion of the wounded healer and of the scars that we carry, whether physical, emotional, energetic, things that we carry forward with us into and through this lifetime and beyond that really are, as Rumi says, that the wound is where the light enters you. So the notion that those things that come up very often in childhood, in the past, through the process of our fool's journey, that wound, that scar, also are the very thing that become our greatest gifts. And we can see how it's depicted here with all different flowers growing from each of the cups. Remembering cups represent the water element, which is emotion. It is our emotions, it's our feels, it's the heart chakra, and really illuminates for us here, children, childhood, sibling energy and connection with those types of connections, as well as our own children and so much more. We've talked about this because this card keeps coming up. So we know all the basics of how this card, what this can represent. And I think going even deeper here is really connecting in with this Sun Chiron conjunction and this notion that through these energies we're experiencing this week, we may very well find on our healing journeys that we receive some powerful insights or deeper awarenesses or understandings about how our traumas have been coloring, influencing our lives, and the idea that these are stories, that these are narratives that we've been playing out, that we reserve the right within our sovereign selves through our limitless infinite potential to rewrite that story. Now, this is a potential block or challenge. This can be a lot, right? Having these awarenesses, these illuminations, things coming through where suddenly, it's almost like, and I'm getting I can see clearly now, right? The rain has gone and the sun comes out and it's illuminated in ways that we never saw it before, maybe even ways that simplify things or, show them in a light we've never seen them before, where it can be challenging for us. And I am feeling that because I'm feeling myself in my chest and my throat chakra, moving these emotions can be a challenge, to say the least, right? So if you're feeling a heaviness or having any of these awarenesses or aha moments coming in, again, being gentle with yourself, allowing yourself get grounded, stay hydrated, allow yourself to get good rest, follow your body's cues and allow for this restorative, regenerative period. It's very connected right here, these three, that Four of Swords, that Nine of Swords, and this Six of Cups right in between the two, right? There's this energy of this card, which is absolute immobility, rest, meditation, contemplation, just setting it all down. This card, which is nonstop action in the crown, all the thoughts, all the ideas, the worries, the fears, the anxieties, the replaying things. In the middle of that is the past, from where we're coming. And, it's so beautiful. And like I said, whether this is touching you, that this is something that you make a connection with instantly, or maybe just now realize the potential of connecting the dots. Like I'm just saying right now, because I've been sharing my personal experiences, basically my whole year this year is a giant 6 of cups, because my oldest child is 18. We're in the process of her fleeing the nest, right? She's in her senior year. We've had so many events and things still happening, endings, new beginnings, and all the feels that bring me back to that time in my life, which was one of the most challenging times of my life, and the direction that things went, family dynamics, and so much of my wounding. So I am constantly having this experience through the lens of my child, and having to really dig deep to bring forward the wisdom that's coming up for me, to allow her to have her own experiences, knowing that my parenting, my perception of how I'm experiencing all of these things is coming through my filter of my experience. And yesterday, after the accident, and I was driving her home, of course she was not comfortable driving, and I was driving, and we're just kind of driving along, and I say, yeah, I remember my first fender bender. Actually, I was your age. Very similarly, I rear-ended someone because I, didn't quite see that the series of traffic lights had just turned red, and I was going too fast to stop soon enough, and I, hit them. And, I was just kind of reminiscing, telling her the story, and I got emotional because I was trying to say to her in that teachable moment, this is what we're talking about when we say, that these types of things happen. And so as you step into the new and all of these exciting things and firsts and moments that you're very eager to get to, and, I'm an adult now, and when am I going to be able to do these things? And when are you going to allow me? And all the tale as old as time, right? Conversations. This is an example of one of those things that we want you to understand. And I know it's hard, and so I felt that coming through me. And again, trying to find that balance of being that guide for her without projecting my experiences into her experiences, but yet letting them inform me in terms of how best to teach through allowing her to have her own experiences. So again, specific example that carries the vibration of what we're talking about and how that may apply in your life when it comes to taking those experiences from the past and the wisdom and the tools that you have derived from experiencing them, and turning them into powerful portals to bring forward your gifts of wisdom, insight, guidance. Okay, so again, just big stuff coming up here. So I'm belaboring the point to say, wow, this is really so significant to these energies, and it's really got tremendous opportunity for healing. So once again, I say, wherever you are in this process, I haven't said it yet, if anybody wants a card pull this week, I'm so scattered. So yes, if you would like a personal card pull this week, feel free to reach out in whatever way works for you. And like I said, if any of these specific messages are really pinging for you, let me know, and we can hone in more, to that energy when we do your personal card pulls. All right, let's keep it going and take a look at Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday is our midweek blessing. I feel like I should be playing some Eminem right now, because it's like, guess who's back? Back again. 9 of Swords is back, all right? And it's in exactly the same position as it was last week. And also, I know that I read this to you guys, but then I saw in the card, and I don't know if it picks up on camera, that wolf that's behind the swords here, because this card also brilliantly, and look how beautiful all those stars are in the dark night sky, that this perception of, is the wolf real or not? Like this idea of, I'm afraid of what's out there that I can't see, but is it really there? Is what this card was talking about for this camper. Now we take this in now for us for the second week in a row. And when that happens, we stand up and we pay attention to say, oh, you're back again. Also as a midweek blessing. What do I need to know about this 9 of Swords? And as I have told you about as we bring in the numbers, nines are almost to completion, right? It's a number of perseverance. It's a number of keep going, you're almost there. Because 10 is the culmination, the completion, the end of one chapter, the beginning of the next. It's the 1 and the 0, right? And we've got that coming in here at the end of our week. It's actually so powerful that we have 2 nines in front of a 10, right there. We have this 9 of swords, 9 of pentacles again, and now the 10, the wheel of fortune. So this 9 of swords representing the monkey mind, the hamster wheel, all those thoughts, all of those ideas, and the swordsiness, right? So we have this energy of worry, fear, anxiety, and whether those things are real or imaginary. And talking about the symbolism of that wolf there in the shadows. Is it real? And so when we talked about the limitless access to potential here with this gorgeous Oracle of Awakening message today, and I brought in this message about known fears and that how they are, it is the past. It is what we've already experienced that's filtering our we're projecting it into the now and the next, right? Into the future. And so in what ways can we see the fear, see it there, right? And recognize, and I brought in the fear fighter spray. If you've caught up, I know there's been a lot, and I popped in here last night with the story share that I did. And I brought in that fear fighter energy is to see the fear there and actually face it. And I'm being brought back now to an old blog post of mine, which actually quite synchronistically came onto my radar last week with a friend of mine when we were talking about this energy. And I was moved to share that old blog post with her and my fear card from my Nature Speaks affirmation cards that I'm creating, period, someday. We've been on hiatus. And so I'm going to share that here, actually. I'm going to share the link to my blog post where you can read about messages that came through to me a couple of years ago with this FEAR acronym, FEER, that was about facing, encasing, like surrounding that fear, embracing, right? Whatever that fear is. So encasing it, holding it, and allowing ourselves to embrace it. And then we release and transmute that energy into the new. We release that fear. It has served its job. There were times in our life where it was necessary for us, for survival, for the ability to understand, how to be safe. The ego does its job. The monsters in our room, the wolf in sheep's clothing, all of this different energy that comes up that are all, again, bringing us back to this childhood energy. And these are all little bits that have been coming in the various card pulls and messages I've been sharing about old fears. And in fact, again, when we had the crazy rumble of thunder that I shared in the Stars and Cards clip here, I was saying how when I was a kid, we would say that when it thundered, the angels were bowling, So, they must have just hit a strike up there if it was a big clap of, thunder. So thinking about the idea that today's worries, anxieties, and fears were built on the foundation of the experiences that we had as a child or in the past, okay? So this card coming back again in the exact same position as last week, once again, is a midweek blessing because we're beginning to see through this perception of worry, fear, anxiety that may be unfounded, or we can rewrite that story. So really powerful energies to tap into to understand that fear of the unknown, nightmares, or imaginary fears exist, right? And it's a vibration, it's a frequency. And if we think about these 9 swords as levels, and layers to situations. Or if you ever look at like there's a cone or a spectrum of emotions, and at the bottom is the lower vibrational emotions that go all the way up to the top as we ascend. Actually, I'm digging in my drawer in front of me to see if I have it handy, because I like to use that as a visual often for people, because it is very powerful, because it speaks to these emotions that, all serve, that all have a role to play. I don't think I have it right here, but it being that there is a certain frequency for anger, for, resentment, and all of those lower, like I'm looking at these like they are floors. I often talk about the elevator and this idea of like, well, what floor am I on? Because when I'm here in this moment and I'm on this floor where the frequency is of a lower vibrational energy, that is what I'm experiencing, and that is what I am tuned into. So sure enough, my experience, if I were to uncover my eyes and look around on this floor, is going to be one of worry, anxiety, and fear, anger, what have you, whatever, wherever we are here. So again, bigger messages coming in that I could expand upon probably all day, but I'm feeling this opportunity for us to level up, to raise it up so that we can access the highest perspective available, the highest vibrational frequency available. Again, this has been a theme that I've been bringing in. So if that's speaking to you, this is where we are invited to embrace, encase, right? And replace. That's what the fear acronym was, replace. We replace that fear with this higher vibrational perspective. So again, I'm going to share that blog post here, and then we'll roll on through our last two cards. All right, Thursday is how we are growing, and guess who's back again? We've got another frequent flyer here from last week. She actually kicked it off on Monday. Now she's moved into, we're growing into this energy of really bringing in the abundance, the goodies, the gold, all of those pentacles stored up there in that strong foundation that's coming in here with this Nine of Pentacles. You see the grapes, the abundance, the richness, and the taming of that bird of prey, really anchoring into this energy that's available. And this is an energy that I had intuitively brought into the altar for April, the magenta bridge. And I think it's so lovely. I've seen this beautiful magenta color depicted in so many of the cards in this deck that really have us connecting in with this energy of the bridge, and specifically the magenta bridge, time and self-mastery. That's what this card depicts beautifully, because again, remember, nines are really getting into that point of maturation. We're getting there. We're almost to completion. And so this represents a self-made individual, one who has taken all of the things, the sourest of grapes, right? All of the things that they had to work with and made them into something of value. And so this is a card of richness, abundance, and generosity, of sharing that with others. And so how are we growing? Taking what we know and the experiences that we have had and all of the things that we've been talking about, and creating from them something truly beautiful. Again, Chiron's coming in here. Again, we have this energy of transmuting, replacing those fears, those lower vibrational circumstances, and creating from them a bounty that we now share. So pentacles, earth energy. How are we growing? Root into all of these riches that you have here. And so what are those things for you? Your gifts, your strengths, your abilities, your little nuggets of wisdom and intuition, and things that you have picked up along the way through all of the experiences that you have had. All the little kiddos are coming home now. I see them all. Oh, Cooper, right on cue. Right on cue. He says, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be coming home yet. So yeah, look at them in the background there. It's so funny. To me, this is like the either like the homemaker card. So it's the energy of being at home in your garden, in your abundance, being at home within yourself, being empowered. and really utilizing those things for good is what I feel. So, that's enough. That's I could just keep going, but it's really powerful. I love that this moved on down to this Thursday position, that we are growing into our gardens, our spiritual gardens. And really, once again, I'll just say, this is the day to be thinking about. There's a lot of eclipse excitement coming in through the door right now. We have our glasses, and my son has a buddy coming over, and we're really excited to experience this. So we're seeing them. I'm seeing them bouncing. You're hearing them, perhaps, bouncing on in here. So, how am I going to, what am I going to plant in this garden to share? And so this is the day to be thinking about that, and I challenge you, no matter when you hear this. I know I'm throwing so much at you, and, people have stuff going on, and you might not even hear these messages until end of the week. Who knows when? Whenever you come upon them. Plant those seeds, set those intentions. Think about your spiritual garden and what you're growing in there. We don't feed the weeds, right? Where our focus goes, energy flows. So put your energy into what you wish to grow in your garden. I mentioned it, I think briefly in the card pull. I go into detail in the reading that is available to everyone for this eclipse, where this is actually a beautiful extended window. So any intentions and seed planting that you're doing now and tomorrow, you can actually tap in through the 22nd of this month. So plenty of time for you to really tend to those spiritual gardens and really think about what you want to bring forward. Let's close it out with Friday. All right, closing out our week, we have the only new card to come in on the altar this week, the Wheel of Fortune. And it is so perfect that it is here. I love that this energy is closing out this week, the Wheel of Fortune. This is a card that depicts typically a fortuitous shift in your life. And when we think about wheels within wheels within wheels of these cycles that we are all moving through from a planetary level, on the big stage, the macrocosm, collective, in your communities, in your families, in your circles, in your personal microcosms. All of these shifts and changes, the wheel turns. And it's a card that brings in for typically karmic alignments, yes, and this is what's happening. An eclipse in itself is known to be bring about destined, fated events, and it's beautiful. This is what I'm saying. This is nothing for us to fear. This is about bringing in this energy of the new, being that this is the spring weight tarot deck. It is bustling with spring energy. The birds, the bunny, the lambs, the ducks, the butterflies, the rainbow, the flowers, everything about it. Even this beautiful reflection of the rainbow in the water, which is the emotions, the feels, the heart chakra that we are flowing through. So many beautiful synchronicities in this card to so many messages we've been bringing through. I'm even going back to March in my mind right now, which of course would make sense because we go back to the lunar eclipse in Libra that happened at the end of March, which started this eclipse season that we are in now, culminating here with this event today as I record this on Monday. And the Wheel of Fortune brings in changes, fate, destiny, a lucky break, cycling up through karmic lessons, the chaos of creation, a turning point, serendipity, all key words that are associated with this card. And I love that chaos of creation. A lot of times I talk about the number 5, which of course is the frequency of our Queen of the Moon message that came in here, 41, 4 plus 1 being 5, 5 being the frequency of change. And with that comes some confusion, chaos, this turbulence, this in-between. 5 is also the number of the freedom seeker, rebel energy as well. The wheel turns and we have this new energy coming in. And so this is really powerful to set this scene representing this change of fortune. And yes, that can go in any direction, which, you know, when we're coming from this place of knowingness, trust, and having faith over fear, we recognize that on this fool's journey, there are no wrong paths. Every path we take is playing out for us as a gift, some type of learning, healing, growing, expansion as a soul. So, you know, this being the punctuation mark on this week is really amazing. And it's a 10, right? So 10 is the vibration of 1 and 0. So we come to this point of endings and new beginnings. And in fact, when this energy came forward here in the last week, in one of those card polls, I talked about where the Fool steps into the role of number 1 in the tarot, which is, of course, the Magician. So when the Fool steps into the energy of creation, and so oh my gosh, it's right at the top. And whenever that happens, I know that I'm meant to pull it out and share. So this is the Magician, card 1 of the major arcana. And so it brings forward this beautiful, abundant energy of creation, creating, working with your tools. And one of the really cool things about this is it's the only card traditionally in the tarot that depicts all 4 suits. So you see on the table, as tools available to us as the Magician, we have the cups, swords, pentacles, and wands right there in front of us. It's a card that says, you have all the tools you need. So you pick up that wand, again, in sovereignty from that empowered place, and you make your magic, your unique magic in this world. And in order to do so, we need to have a willingness to use those tools, to hone our craft, to practice, and most importantly, a willingness to make mistakes, to know that we're not always going to get it right. I like to say about the Magician, it's as if they have this magic, this cauldron in front of them, right? And they're making this magic. And so this idea of what am I putting into the pot, right? Thinking about that elevator, right? Thinking about those levels back there. If I want to make in my life, you know, happiness, abundance, love, compassion, service, you know, whatever those things are that I want to manifest in my life, what am I going to put into the pot? What ingredients go in the pot when it comes to making my magic and manifesting that in my life? I'm not going to put into that the lower vibrational energies of shame and guilt and disempowerment and fear. Those things will never create that dish that I'm looking to make. So we transmute them. And how do we transmute them? Through the shadow, through the work. And this work that's been well underway, like even using that word work might feel heavy or daunting. I want to sort of embrace this energy in a whole new way, seeing it from a new perspective of recognizing that's as if I've been collecting all of those pentacles representing all the nuggets, all the experiences and awarenesses that have come in through all of this tricky energy. Remember, if this is a bird of prey and something that has been a bit of a bear for me to conquer, big finger alert, I am utilizing all of these things to create in this space. And so I feel this connection of the 10 bringing in the Magician, because the 1 and the 0 are coming together. And oh my gosh, you guys, oh my gosh, look at this. Here it comes. I just wanted to pick up the deck to find the Fool, and it was right on top. Like I said, wow. Wow. I am just blown away today. This is magical. This is absolutely magical. This is what I'm talking about. So we zoom back. Wow. It's pretty cool. This is a 10, right? Like I said, the 1 and the 0. So we, on this Fool's journey, bringing together the pureness, the purity of our spirit come here to this lifetime to have these human experiences, which are the culmination of the things we've been talking about, this energy of the limitless potential and the understanding that we are here having these experiences. And it is about the reconciling of the humanity and the spirituality of our essence, bringing those two together, reuniting them in a whole new way. And that is where we are here in this moment. And we are all collectively experiencing this together. We will experience it in our own personal and individual ways, as we should. But it's happening for us all. And that in of itself is a reminder of our oneness. And so through all of these messages and all of the things that have been coming forward, again, getting grounded, anchoring into your faith, your support system, recognizing whatever higher power that you connect with is all available to help you through this transformative time. I am going to seal this in here again. I'm going to use the new light. This is one that I was inspired to bring in during the Empowerment Pack reading. This was a very special edition that came in over the Christmas season and the winter with this beautiful energy. But I find with the frankincense, lemon, and cedar, I just love bringing in those energies to really get grounded, but also this refreshing, new, and clarifying, detoxifying energy of the lemon. And getting grounded here, and the spiritual connection through the frankincense, and so much more. So I'm sealing in these messages. I know it's been a lot. wasn't even expecting all of this, but hey, it's eclipse season, baby. It's all happening. So thank you so much for being here whenever you are here. I appreciate you. I'm so glad you're here. If you would like a personal card pull, please let me know. If you would like the reading for this eclipse, I have it all ready to go to send your way. Again, I have this special offer, and you can just reach out to me or follow the link here in the post if you would like to secure that, and I'll send that your way, and then we'll get ready for your personal card pulls. So thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you much love and many eclipse blessings. We'll talk soon.